Hey everyone, I'm Maggie McGrath, editor of Forbes Women. College affordability and childcare are two of the top issues in the 2024 presidential election. Sitting at the intersection of these issues is Nicole Lynn Lewis. She is the founder and CEO of Generation Hope, a nonprofit advocating for students in college who are also parents. Nicole, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start broadly with folks who haven't heard of Generation Hope. What is your organization and who does it serve?
So we're a nonprofit organization. We serve teen parents in college directly, and we advocate nationally for parenting students all over the country.
How many students in college are parents?
Well, it's interesting because I think most people, if you think about parenting students, think it's a small group of people, don't really think it's a significant population, but it actually is. We're talking about 1 in 4 college students across the country are parenting. And when we look at this through a race lens, it's about almost half of Black female undergraduates across the country are parenting while in college.
1 in 4 college students are also parenting. And give us your assessment. I think I know what you might say, but give us your assessment of how American society, American government is at serving this constituent group at this point in time.
Well, I think kind of building off of what I just said, this is an invisible population in that it has been historically underserved and disinvested in. And these are the students that are falling through the cracks in higher education, not because they don't have the cognitive ability, not because they don't have the drive and the ambition, but because our systems are not set up for them to be successful. And so we know that parenting college students have higher GPAs on average than non-parenting students, but they are not graduating at the same rate, really because our higher ed systems, our human service systems, all of the systems in this country are not designed to really invest in its population and their success. We have a lot of work to do when it comes to addressing those disparities, addressing those long-standing historic gaps in the way that we stand up for families, particularly marginalized families in this country.
You said we have a lot of work to do, and I think the work comes across a lot of areas. I want to start with what your organization does. How do you and Generation Hope specifically help students who are also parents? What are the services or support that you provide?
Yeah, so I think it's important to note that I started the organization because I've lived the mission. I was a teen mom. I got pregnant my senior year of high school. And when I got pregnant, people told me your life is over. You're not going to be successful and you're not going to go to college. And I thought now more than ever, it was so critical for me to get that college degree to take care of this little one. And so I started at William & Mary, and I always tell people I stepped foot on that campus and thought, these feet don't belong here. You know, I'm in a place where other students have a ton of support. They're not parenting and they don't look like me. I was one of very few Black students at William & Mary. And in 4 years, I graduated. My daughter walked across the graduation stage with me. And it really was this moment, you know, where you achieve something that people tell you is impossible. But I also realized that I could do something to make it not this difficult for other parenting students or other mothers and fathers who wanted to go to college, particularly young parents. And so that's why I started Generation Hope, my own experience. So our programming really comes from that lived experience, comes from that authenticity and that place of knowing what it's like to be parenting, to have very few resources, and to want to improve your life and your children's lives, but not having the supports and the systems to get there. So we are a holistic program. We really wrap parenting students with all of the supports that they need to get through college. So much of what happens outside of the classroom when it comes to the barriers that parenting students face: housing insecurity, food insecurity, transportation insecurity, domestic violence is a huge issue for this population. And so really looking at how do we infuse those supports, both emotional and financial, back into the lives of these students. We provide emergency funding, tuition assistance. We have a robust mentoring program. We also provide mental health services for free on staff, career readiness programming. We do early childhood programming as well to make sure their little ones are successful. And then we have an arm of our work that is not just addressing the direct needs of families, one-to-one boots on the ground, but also looking at the systemic change that needs to happen across various systems, particularly higher education, to make sure that millions of mothers and fathers are able to get their college degrees, not just the scholars in our program. And we do that through policy work, research and reports, and also really working closely with college partners to transform their campuses.